Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a union message for you. I did meditate for a moment to see if there was any messages that I needed to relay, and I just got one great big heart. So it's just all about love, guys, okay? It is February 8th today, 2019, and before I get into the union message, I talk about how I always go into my inner child and my masculine's inner child together. We live on the left and the right side, but they've been together recently. And today, I believe yesterday they were spooning, and today the masculine was spooning, but he was kind of spooning lower down, like being just cute with her and giving her little kisses down her leg into her toes. And then he actually came around the other side and just laid in front of her, still curled up like that, and they just wanted to stare at each other. So it was very beautiful. Like I said, today is February 8th, 2019, and 8 is all about the Strength card, which for the, oh, just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So the underlying energy for, and it's 111, the underlying energy for the read was the Strength card. In the Sirian Starseed deck, though, however, which is the main deck that I use for the read, it is the Tiger, the Eye of the Tiger, which definitely comes up in the beginning of the read. But it matches perfectly to the energy of the day. And then the day adds up to 22, which is all about the Fool and taking that leap of faith and staying in your faith, being strong in love. Okay? And I just want to share that I had bought a Groupon for an inspection today. And when I called initially, they were having trouble with the Groupons, so they weren't necessarily taking them, but then she said come in anyway and we'll still give you that price. And when I went in, she had written down that I wasn't going to get the Groupon, but he put it in for me anyway, and it went through, which they were having problems with it going through, and it went through perfectly. Literally, he even had to take me to another station to get the emissions done, because his wasn't working. And literally the whole process took like a half an hour. It was like so quick and efficient. It was a lovely experience. The man who took care of my car was very sweet, actually. So when you allow, everything just works out even more perfectly than you can imagine, you know, because it never is that quick when you go to take your car in, right? Okay, so it's just about love and being open and allowing yourself to receive things naturally. So we have the Fool and the Strength card. So taking that leap of faith and being exactly who you are, expressing yourself authentically from your heart, your higher self, your real self. That's your loving self, your full loving self. The cards that came up for the major arcana today in the read were Strength, Reflection, which is usually the Hermit card, Karma, which is usually Judgment, Indigo, which is usually the Magician, and then the card after the read, which I always use in the read, was the Abundance card, which is usually the Empress card. There were 3 cups, 2 swords, 2 pentacles, and the only court card that came up was the King of Cups, Unconditional Love, and then the card before the underlying energy was the Page of Swords, which I also use in the read. The numbers and the message with the codes came up about moderation, nature, individuality, and change. Okay, mostly individuality and change were the initial cards, but moderation and nature also came out. The numbers were really all about the number 3, and that being the 3 of Cups, which is really about joy and celebration, and seeing that instead of the negative perspectives of that 3 of Cups. 33 also came out, 46, which is the 6 of Cups, and the number 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the Magician, number 1. Okay, and the messages were all about being an individual, be yourself, and allow changes, even within yourself. Sometimes you might need to change directions in what you're doing. It's all okay. Just allow it all. Okay, so the message was about seeing the I in I, okay? And Eye of the Tiger was coming through first thing in the read, okay? And then Tiger's Eye was coming up, okay? So Tiger's Eye comes up here as a very grounding stone, which I'll get into in a minute, but it was very important. The third eye, the Tiger's Eye, the focus. the all-seeing eye, the confidence also. So the solar plexus was coming up here as well. So the seeing eye, the high road was coming up, and ST was coming up too, like the street that we're on is the high road. Seeing eye, the high road are the Three of Cups, our Three of Cups, our third energy, our higher energy, our joy, our celebration, our coming together with others in love to support each of our individual selves, just the way we are. So then THR also came up in the read, and the different abbreviations that it represents are the Hollywood Reporter, which was funny, but the high road is literally THR. Texas Health Resources also came up, but THR is also 309, THREONINE, which is an amino acid, so maybe somebody might need some of that. Also, it comes up as an abbreviation for Thursday, total hip replacement, thrust, turn hard right, thyroid hormone receptor, as well as homeschooling revolution, training heart rate, as well as threshold heart rate, Tehran, Iran, and Marabad, the airport code there, and then total heat of rejection. And when I first saw that, of course, I saw total heart of rejection. But those are some of the abbreviations, so they may be a message for some of you. And then tolerable hazard rate as well. What are you able to tolerate? So they're kind of humorous for me. So of course, when we have the Eye of the Tiger and the thrill of the fight, Rocky 3 comes up. So there may be a third breakup or something like that. So it just is part of the process. Confidence is coming up here, and like I said, Tiger's Eye came up, red Tiger's Eye, and black agate as being for motivation, courage, and insight. Having the confidence to go for your goals. And again, the solar plexus, or the third chakra. So getting into the read, it's all about strength and the tiger's eye, the eye of the tiger, the third chakra, but also the third eye, where the King of Wands is reversed, needing strength and courage to speak up, to speak his truth, a message while going through detoxing, whatever that may be. Doesn't mean it has to be, alcohol or drug use. It could just be any kind of codependency, maybe just a relationship that you shouldn't be in anymore. That's negative and it's draining for him. Or whether it's kids, him allowing his kids to drain him, allowing them to get away too much or spend all the money that he makes, all that kind of thing. So important to be very supportive of the masculine. They're going through it again this week, allowing his inner child to speak up, to be not only seen, but be heard as well for the masculine. And I just want to get that message out to all the masculines. We support you guys and we love you. And to my masculine, I love you. No matter what, you can do this. It's all going to be okay. All right, to detox his negative self-talk and unexpressed anger and resentment. To come together in joy and not allow low-energy gossipers who need to hear your truth and to stick up for you and your twin. Okay, so not to be afraid to speak your truth or to speak on behalf of your twin. The wounded warrior is giving up on a happy family, possibly a big move or travel. Sad he doesn't have enough for a party or a gathering that they want, or that all his efforts have been a waste of time or in vain. He is not appreciated or just taken for granted. All right, so there's a stability block coming up here. Sacrificing emotional happiness for home stability and for others' happiness, others' parties and joy. Spending lots of money on what they want and never what you want. So not your happiness, just your sadness and regret in the desert by the bridge. More cups spilled over than actually exist. Okay? That they don't care about your happiness. After finding peace, or travel, or taking kids to the other parent, for those parents who are bringing their kids back and forth, the masculine's recovering financially, or feminine, if you're still in a family as well, doing the same thing. That you're recovering financially, that's a parent expressing feelings of just being one of the crowd, of many bowing down to a master he doesn't even believe in. or who forces competition amongst the group, friends, or siblings. Okay, so it's still coming up as someone in charge, whether it be your boss, your parent, your religious leader, someone who encourages, kind of mean behavior between people, whether it's siblings, the group at work, or friends, whatever it is. Okay, expressing feelings of releasing self from this prison is really coming through for the masculine right now. This so-called religion or belief system, deemed guilty even if innocent. This could be the one, comes up for the underlying energy, and beneath that was forgiving and learning. Okay, and of course with forgiving and learning is always about having compassion, which definitely comes up with the cards as well. But in the union, that this could be the one. I mean, this is the one, to give it a chance, allow the opportunity. The King of Wands is out being affectionate, while the Divine Feminine may be home in separation, looking out at nature or spending time in nature, protecting each other from the hoofed one, who covets herbs and pees on them. So it was really strange, kind of dark, devilish energy I was getting. And then 717 was coming up, and divine timing of 77 was coming up around this underlying energy, and this one spot in the read just had the devil in it. Most of the read wasn't like that. But just so you know, we're helping each other get past the dark environment that we're in and accept our own dark side, right? So the King of Wands here is taking a risk to stand up for themselves and to the dark, to the shadow side, to the harsh truth of potential illness, jail, or rehab, codependencies, and or addictions. There may be a little lizard spy telling on him, so kids may be going back and forth between mommy and daddy, which they often do, and being manipulated by the devil himself, and abusive sexual practices or cutting practices, not only by self, but someone else cutting you, whether that be metaphoric or real, physical, and you allowing it. All right, so this is not only sexual or just abusive, but in addiction to cosmic surgeries or unskilled physicians or ones with ill intent but who are cheaper. So you go there, because you can afford it, but then you've heard all the stories about going down to Mexico and then having a really bad surgery because you're trying to get a good price. It's not worth it. Okay, and of course not all of this or any of it may apply to you, but it's definitely energies coming up for somebody. Okay, whether it's cutting, and I was very surprised I was getting someone allowing someone else to cut them, like the same way somebody would cut themselves because they're abusing themselves because of the pain they're in, but someone allowing someone else to cut them as well. So especially you with children too, you might want to pay attention to any of that kids who are covering up cuts. Okay, and also there's, if you want to do something for yourself, whether it's cosmetic surgery or whatever, I mean, I certainly have done my fair share of laser and that kind of thing, but make sure it's with someone who's skilled, and make sure it's not an addiction, that you're doing it because you enjoy helping yourself be all you can be, and not because it's actually addiction just to keep changing yourself because you don't accept yourself as who you are. Okay, there's nothing wrong with always trying to improve yourself, but it's when we become addicted to things, when it becomes dark energy, okay, because you can't control it anymore, and then it becomes toxic for you. So be aware of that. Also, abundance and spiritual partnership comes up even more so. That the Divine Masculine, the wounded warrior, feels like they're holding two prisoners. So the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles is coming up, but they're also volunteering to be so. But the Queen of Wands is disconnected here, not seeing eye to eye, but he can't take it anymore. He's over it. Ladybugs snooping and fungus growing is coming up here. The division between them becoming more and more apparent. Apparent only. Okay? So someone's in a relationship only to be apparent, but they're not getting anything out of it. Okay? And that her need for his money in some cases. Okay? So masculines and feminines both who are still staying in their marriages. It's for security only, for money and children purposes. So, when you're in that situation, you're using the other person. I mean, you can justify it all you want, but I've been there, I know. Okay, someone jumping out of a plane. Good for when you're feeling no fear because you're in so much pain and giving up. The swords of 3 truths may be too sharp to handle. Right? So, and I get that too, because I definitely jumped out of a plane when I was feeling it many, many years ago. And my daughter recently jumped out of the plane because she was kind of going through that rebuilding of her life. She had shaved off all her hair and she jumped out of a plane. And I have to tell you, she's doing amazing right now. She just started out in the acting field and she got a series already. So it's, to allow yourself, but allow yourself intimacy too, and to be loved by other people. Not just to be all about your career. Okay, this life is about connection. So there's time to let go of all the sad emotions and let go of old wounds and get out of this self-imposed prison. This is for all of us. Time to eat. It's kind of comical actually. Time for the masculine to eat evil women for lunch or on lunch break at work. So anyone who's gossiping or just, saying mean things about other people. He's got his eye on the prize. Celebration of release from emotional prison and truth of abundance, of his own abundance. The only block between him and his twin is his own inner demons, the truth. Recently, karma and judgment comes up, an offer of love ignored, causing the hermit to hide, and the emperor to take back his own control. Performing in a low vibration, continuing patterns instead of taking a high vibe, freedom, open heart to opportunity to learn. The emperor stands in judgment, guided by what he thinks is freedom, based on having his own money and projects, not allowing silly emotions to control him, where we know your emotions are so important to allow to come out and release them that way, not to push them down and avoid them. The foundation right now is rest for all of us, right? Quiet reflection and meditation, thoughts. Magician manifesting arrogance and instability, or unhappiness being alone and moving a home or a business. Okay, and if any of this stuff doesn't resonate with you, it's not your story today, which is fine. It's all about just sharing our feelings about the union, and to share love between us, no matter what, and to support each other. Whether it's us talking to you as people on YouTube, or within our group, but also for you and your masculine, or you and your feminine. Essentially, coming up here, the energy for the union is all about the hermit and reflection. Okay? Having the light, but covered in too much around you, causing overwhelm and indecision. Yet children coming to offer sunshine. Maybe someone's coming home, some new life, infusing that new life energy. I love being around the younger generation because they always make you feel good. But that may just be another wounded warrior coming in who's on guard, because your children may be going through something similar. At home, there's conflict, fighting, or competition with possibly a youngest child or new love wounded warrior who you pretended not to know about, and this is more so for the masculine, now exposing an offer for a new life. The challenge being the 3 of Cups, which is joy, celebration, getting attention from potentially getting attention from an out-of-control Leo, or learning to have joy without ego, leading the way with good news. The Emperor surprises possibly a weak Leo with the King of Pentacles rescue efforts after deception at home, and potentially there was lots of fighting. Needing the courage to take the journey and come together to clear of any deception and union. Getting attention from devious gossips, so the karmic bride can bathe in the spotlight. The King of Swords shocks an Emperor, King of Pentacles, and Leo. Possibly someone's leaving a family or a group. Now, in the present moment, in the crowning position for the union, is new love, sadness, exposed. A longing for their union, but feeling tossed away, now that the King of Swords is also transforming on his own. The Queen of Pentacles already completed family cycle and let go. enjoying the rewards and starting over, and loving self first, not affected by conflict around her, and over most of her grieving process. No more suffering from being spiritually overwhelmed. Now for divine masculine and divine feminine still in marriages, the wheel turns in favor of divorce and justice for all. After dealing with alcohol, possibly alcoholism and or depression, from sun up to sundown, under the moon at home with lots of fights and walkouts, now setting self free for the last and final time. Realizing this is not happiness, right? This is a toxic relationship or connection. The King of Swords exits left. He's done with the BS, the staged BS and jealousy, the drama. Now staging a new life based on truth, telling the Queen of Wands about the flame in the 5D world and a narcissistic marriage to her, jealous of the Empress connection and third-party situation, and the divine masculine's higher self who has been begging the divine feminine the whole time to forgive him and stay, while his lower self wouldn't let go of the perks of the 3D. Soon is the indigo energy, or the magician, who walks away from conflict and into truth. New passion has burned the past in this soul connection, that the worst is over of rejection from the King of Pentacles Superman hero. Okay, because he wanted, that was the role of the masculine, was always breaking that Jesus template of having to be the savior, okay, and save everybody. The union is the Three of Orbs energy, okay, where there's nobody who wins in a three-party situation, that everybody gets hurt. But lightning strikes, dysfunctional family situations, to come together in joy. To come together in joy while grieving a loss. So somebody might have been grieving a loss, whether it's, they left their family and then they're spending time with their extended family, parents and things like that. Or dysfunctional families celebrating to see the masculine or the feminine go, finally, while the divine masculine or divine feminine grieving that loss of feeling separated from them, or feeling like they feel happy that they're gone. Or the divine masculine lost or spent a lot on a party for the family and they didn't even thank or appreciate him as he grieves the loss, now struggling. Okay, so let go of control issues comes up again for the union, as well as reconciliation. And yes, it is safe to love. Around the union, or how it is seen, is that extended family, and what does it mean to the divine masculine and divine feminine? Low-balling offers and low energy patterns, performances to cover up the bugs and the storms behind them, taking down others for pleasure, who hang out to see new perspectives in the aftermath of sudden events, disasters, or epiphanies. So it's talking about how the twins, this is what they do. They're not allowing the things to get to them, but now the people around them don't get it, may want to take you down because of it. Like street merchants, haggling to get every last cent out of you, instead of just being okay with it, okay? Every last drop of life that you are willing to give to them, they will take it if you keep allowing it. Clear blocks of the King of Cups, okay, which is all about unconditional love. When not seeing eye to eye or in need of a project or money, rising above the King of Swords' logic about twins and children and his militant code of ethics. Is it really worth it? Are you showing love? Are you allowing people to take advantage of you? Or are you loving yourself first and walking away when people are being mean or cruel to you, and allowing them to deal with their own resolution of their own issues? Okay, because you're not helping them when you want to save the day and do everything for everyone else, the others or the kids or the family members, they don't learn on their own. So you only, it always comes back to you. You end up getting screwed in the end. So there's sweet judgment that is given. The divine masculine is grateful to the Queen of Pentacles for not being harsh with him about third-party heartbreak and narcissistic treatment in the 5D, causing jealousy, now balancing his debts with focus on synchronicities and understanding now the Empress's frustrations. The Empress opens heart to the King of Cups reversed who in the past may have betrayed her, but now ending his own pain, betrayal, and manipulative tendencies that he went through, and he was probably treated the same. So tendencies of detachment. And there's nothing wrong with detaching with people who are toxic for you, but it's not about detaching from love. It's always about, even when you detach from people, you still keep your heart open. If they're ready to come back and be kind and loving with you, of course you accept them back. So it's always keeping your heart open, but knowing what your boundaries are so that others don't just come in and do whatever they want to you. The King of Pentacles reversed is ungrounded, with secrets out, or lost money and status because he wasn't using his intuition and psychic abilities, or maybe overworking and pretending not to know what was going on, yet couldn't focus at work, or pretending it was just not working anymore. You know, the pretending part wasn't working anymore, or it worked for a while, it just wasn't working for him anymore, it was getting to him. So the Queen of Wands reversed is coming up here at the end of the read as tired and angry, without affection, or potentially vacillating, whether it's on her part or his, breaking up and moving on to find work. So the Queen of Wands has been coming up reversed a lot here this week. There's strength in the read of speaking up, especially for the masculine, and reflecting in quiet about heartbreak and epiphanies of family and judgment, of the hermit with the light and coming together in joy to practice magic abilities and unconditional love, self-love, new love, and balanced life with heart open wide to abundance, letting go of pain and emotional detachment by just loving self first while keeping your heart open. Strength to decide and make and receive judgment, then transmute and transcend to joy and love. All separation with magic manifestation of the ultimate family life. Unconditional love and balance with equity and abundance. Okay, so letting go of all separation, the idea of separation, with magic manifestation using your abilities. Stay at 0 point, stay balanced, and allow everyone else to take responsibility for their own issues and pain, by you being the example of that. Okay? I'm going to pull some cards for you guys. I'm going to show your read so I don't forget. Okay. This is the basic read for the union read today. And then here's the full read for the unions. Let's see what we got here. So there's been some, I was definitely getting stress from the masculine today. It's 2808, which is strength, and the twin flames, okay? So be strong, but don't allow stress. You know, that's why you meditate, or go out for a run, or go work out, or take a salt bath, or do whatever relaxes you. Okay? Get your mind off of that stuff. You don't need to stay in that space. So from the Ascension deck, and today is February 8th, 2019, so for everyone watching in the best and highest good of owners concerned, take your deep breath. What is it that we need to know? What is it that we need to learn from the messages today? What do we need to know? Okay. The bottom of the deck is nature, and that's number 3. So 3 is the 3 of Cups and the Empress energy, which the Empress, I have to remember to say, is all about Mother Nature. Okay, because nature helps us transmute these energies. It's the best protection ever. It's just surrounding yourself in love and nature. Okay, so the cards that came out, the affirmation for nature is, I thank, bless, and love the entire nature kingdom. Okay, say hello to your animals. I had a couple ants return and visit me, just 2. They were a little apprehensive because they weren't sure how I was going to react to them, because they're probably not the same ants that I met before. But there's 2, and they haven't been bothering me, and they haven't been coming back, so we'll have to see how that goes. Lady Portia's 32, and then you have Jesus as well. And then those 2 came out together, but Commander Ashtar did want to be seen, number 39. So the affirmation for Commander Ashtar is, I connect with Commander Ashtar to serve the universe. And 39 is the Knight of Cups. So it's all, extending your love to everyone. It's not about extending sexual love. It's about being a loving person to everyone. But be careful of what your intentions are, because your intention is what comes through. So Lady Portia, number 32, which is a 5, and it's also the 6 of Wands energy of good news, having success and attention, and it's also the Journey card about leading the way. But with the 32, it's about the 2 of the feminine energy on the inside and then being more expressive on the outside. Allowing yourself to connect outside yourself. And expanding. Lady Portia is known as the goddess of justice. As Lord of Karma, she tempers justice with mercy and balance. In order to act with these golden qualities, you must let go of your own projections and prejudices and see the whole picture, just as a judge is supposed to do. When you receive this card, Lady Portia is calling on you to review an aspect of your life or relationships to bring it fully into the 5th dimension. Be generous-hearted, open-minded, and fair, and step aside from judgment, and then your ascension path will be showered with gold. The affirmation is, I am fair-minded, open-hearted, and non-judgmental. So, until you become fully enlightened, there's always going to be some judgments on your part, so don't judge yourself either. And it's, you're always going to be making decisions, which are judgments, okay? But it's about allowing the universe to guide you in your decision-making, that you don't have to make an effort, that when it's time to make that decision, the inspiration will come through your guidance and through your allowing it, okay? Jesus is number 40, and that says 40 is the Page of Cups, so it's that beautiful, innocent, unconditional love, right, from our children. It's that 0 supporting stability, source supporting stability and structure in your life, which of course structure is going to be from your heart, or the 4th chakra. Jesus came from Venus, planet of love. He was sent to Earth to carry the Christ light at a time when the energy was very low. He incarnated as an Essene and received spiritual teachings throughout his childhood and adult life. Then he underwent many invitations to prepare his energy centers to carry the vibration of unconditional love. This card reminds you that all challenging people and situations are tests to prepare you for ascension. To pass these tests, you need to respond to them with unconditional love and balance. Remember that there is only love. And the affirmation is, I respond with unconditional love today. Okay? It's making me want to cry. There's a lot of stress coming through from the masculine right now. It's not in my heart, it's in my solar plexus and stomach. And it was coming through as soon as I started to do the masculine read, which I haven't finished yet. But, guys, take a deep breath. Take a minute to yourself. And know that it's okay. So we're here. Okay. From the past life deck. It's just 3340, which is Jesus, the Christ vibration, and 40 was the Page of Cups again. So it's really about that love, that innocent love today. Be your childlike self. Forgive yourself as well as others, okay? Have compassion for yourself as well as others. It's February 8th, 2019. For everyone watching, in the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Take that deep breath. Take that deep breath. Okay. On the bottom of the deck is Greco-Roman. Okay, the Colosseum and a breakthrough happening. Okay, so we have the lions fighting, right? It's like Rocky 3. Yet we have a breakthrough here. So whatever fight's been going on, whatever injustice has been going on, there is a breakthrough here. Okay, we have the first 2 cards that came out together were Food and Hunger and Mother. Okay, so this is definitely some masculines and feminines may be dealing with having grown up in a single family and struggling for food. Okay, and never wanted to go hungry again, so stability is such a big issue for them. So to understand this about the masculine or the feminine, whoever's going through this, also that, and Spirit's connecting with me, also that the mother is food for the children, you know, not only because she breastfeeds them, but because her love is food for the children. Spirit's connecting with me very strongly about that. And that when you're really hungry, you don't look at the quality of food that you're eating. You just take what you can get, okay? It's making me cry for the masculine. That's not my perspective. But it's coming through from the masculine. That the feminine needs to understand this perspective. Or maybe those who didn't have their mother around to read to them, you know, they ended up with their karmic because that's what they're saying, you know. They were looking for that replacement. Or someone to take care of their children for them. They wanted to make sure that their children were well taken care of because they never had that. So either that their mother was that life force for them, and so maybe they chose someone who was like their mother, or just swore that they would never divorce because of that. You know, they wanted the stability for their mother, the mother of their children and their children, and to always have food on the table. So it's a very strong message. We're also getting the farm, okay, about this more simple life, about nature and animals. Because animals are so grounding as well. You know, so if you are feeling a lot of stress for the masculine, to take your kids somewhere outside, like to a farm, or to be around animals, or to just to nature in general. But specifically, horses are coming up here. They're so beautiful and gentle, and yet powerful and elegant. Because that's when their true nature shines through, right? When they're galloping, and you see how beautiful they are. When they're in their full stride, okay? But horses need to rest as well. They need to take time out to graze and be alone. And someone's worried about being put out to pasture. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we have the journey of love. Take another deep breath. Take a deep breath. All right, so for this February 8th, 2019, for everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn, Jesus? What do we need to know? What do we need to learn, Jesus? What is your message to us? Oh, a lot. Well, this came up amidst the chaos. Simplicity, okay, which resonates with the farm as well. Of 4, to stay in your heart and keep it simple. It's black and white. Don't make it so complicated, you know, with so much stuff in your life that you don't need all that stuff in your life. You don't need to keep up with the Joneses. You know, of course, have the things you love, but keep it simple. Allow yourself to be free. Like a whole bunch of cards came out. There may be a reason for the number or something, so I'm going to tell you. I can't read them all, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So simplicity was the 10th card. And the underlying energy is towering magnificence, which is 30, which is the 4 of the union card. Okay, it's the 4 of wands. It's also a 3, so 3s and 4s here are big. So the Emperor and the Empress are coming up here a lot. All right. The equal balance of the Empress and the Emperor. Also the cards that came up here, so I'll show them to you. We have intimacy, which definitely came up this week. Shifting universes. Okay, that's very musical to me. Like, it looks like a room with musical instruments in it. 35 is intimacy, which is the wounded warrior, and also Mary Magdalene comes up with that. And shifting universes is 7, which is the chariot. That's also that very spiritual energy. We also have self-initiation, which is number 12 of the hangman and wisdom. The choice, number 62, which is 8 of swords. That's the anxiety that's coming up for the masculine right now. Because he's vacillating because he has a hard time making choices. And that's what gets him stressed out, so he has to simplify. She is the moon, which is number 21. That's the world, completing. I was getting this yesterday too, that she completes him. Okay? That's the message from the masculine to the feminine, that you complete me. Alright? So just for a moment, joy is 46, which is the 2 children, the 6 of cups, the children of the garden. Eruption of light, 11, is justice. Okay, and that's like being inside the vortex together, right? The, what is it called? When it comes to me, I'll get it. Alright, so spiral dance of the goddess is 29, which is that 3 of wands, which is really about staying present in your present moment, not looking for it, not waiting for your ships to come in. Just be present to the beauty now. Dance of the planets comes up as 56, which is that 2 of swords, being in your knowing. Staying at 0 point in your knowing. You don't need your eyesight because you already see. And I'm going to read you simplicity, because we're going to keep it simple. Okay. Simplicity says, bow to that which is simple. You will find answers to your most complex issues and those questions that seem to defy the possibility of an answer. You will find the solution now through simplicity. Live one day at a time. Have gratitude for whatever you possibly can, even if you are yet to understand why you should be grateful, because you cannot perceive the gift hiding within your struggles quite yet. Trust in the goodness of life seeking to serve you into becoming the fullness of all that you are. Yes, beloved, even in your darkest night, the light of love is serving you. The most sophisticated of problems can be resolved through a simple answer. Love. Trust. Have faith and be patient. Wait and you shall see. Let simplicity be. This oracle brings you an answer that everything is going to be all right. Don't add fuel to the fire and look for ways to sort out complicated matters prematurely. Don't make up the stories in your head. Sometimes ingredients need to cook and percolate so that they can become a meal. The circumstances with which you are struggling will right themselves in time. Stay present and be patient. Pray in your own way. Meditation, time in nature, dance, and literally talk to the divine. When you need to take a clear, simple action, you will feel it. Relax and know it's all going to work out for the best. There is peace for one whose heart is open. Okay? So it's just reiterating, no matter what, even if you have to distance yourself from people, it doesn't mean you're closing down your heart, even to them. You're just creating space between you until you can both work on yourselves, so that maybe you will resonate again, and maybe you won't, but that's okay too, because there are people who come in and out of your life for a specific reason, and that's all right. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Make sure to drink your water. Rise and be light.